Welcome back to another edition of Mr. K on Sports. It's mock draft time, NFL mock draft, because the draft is this coming Thursday from Las Vegas. So here are my projections. And again, let me remind you, I do not try to pick trades. I think that's very difficult. It's next to impossible. So I'm just going to go right down the line of the order that it has it right now, and then I'll review and see how many first rounders I get correct. So here we go. Starting off, the number one pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars. I say that Doug Peterson is going to go defense here, and he's going to go to the best defensive team in the NCAA last year, the Georgia Bulldogs, and he's going to select Travon Walker, their defensive end from Georgia. The second pick, Detroit, will fall right into their lap, a local guy from Michigan, another defensive end, Aiden Hutchinson. I'm picking a lot of defensive ends to go, the edge rushers, in round one, a hot commodity. With the third pick of the first round, the Houston Texans, Lovie Smith's first draft with them, and I think they're going to go offensive line, which is a big need. Ikem Ekwonu, the offensive tackle from North Carolina State. Back-to-back offensive tackles, I think, will go. In the fourth pick, the New York Jets, getting someone to protect their young quarterback by picking another offensive tackle, Evan Neal from Alabama. Rounding out the top five, the New York Football Giants. Too good to pass up. Great athlete. I think they're going to go with Kyle Hamilton, the big safety from Notre Dame. With the sixth pick of the first round, the Carolina Panthers. Now, the big question of this draft is, where will the quarterbacks go? They're not highly regarded. Will they go in the first round? Carolina is the first team that has a need at quarterback. They will not go quarterback at number 6 overall. I think they're going to finish with the trend of edge rushers again here and go with Kayvon Thibodeaux, the big defensive end from Oregon. With the seventh pick of the first round, going back to the Giants. I think the Giants here will try to address that sieve of an offensive line and go with Charles Cross, the offensive tackle for Mississippi State. So again, 3 offensive tackles in the first 7 picks. With the 8th slot comes Atlanta, another team that could use a long-term solution at quarterback. I think they ponder it. I think they decide against it. And instead they go big need at wide receiver with Garrett Wilson, the wide receiver from Ohio State. At number 9 is Seattle, another team that could ponder quarterback. But I think they go in another direction. They try to rebuild that defense with Ahmad Gardner, the corner from Cincinnati. Rounding out the top 10, back to the Jets. The Jets, looking to beef up that offense, need a big guy at wide receiver. I think they like Drake London, the wide receiver from Southern Cal. With the 11th pick of the first round, the Washington Commanders. That's right, the Commanders, their new nickname. I think they go corner, Derek Stingley Jr., the corner from LSU. 12th pick of the first round is Minnesota. Minnesota's defense was very disappointing last year. I think they addressed that in the form of Jermaine Johnson II, the defensive end from Florida State. 13th pick, going back to Houston. Lovie Smith loves defense. He's going to build it from the middle out, and he's going to go with the big defensive tackle from Georgia, Jordan Davis. 14th is Baltimore. Baltimore could use help along the offensive line to help Lamar Jackson, try to keep him healthy. They like nastiness, and I think they go with the nastiest offensive lineman in the draft. That's Trevor Penning, the offensive tackle from Northern Iowa. Number 15 is Philadelphia. Philadelphia has several first-round picks. I think they look for another weapon for Jalen Hurts. They go back like they did last year to a wideout from Alabama. They take a chance on Jameson Williams, who probably fell only because of his injury. He's the wide receiver from Alabama. At 16 is New Orleans, a run on wide receivers. They like Chris Olave, the wide receiver from Ohio State. At 17 are the Chargers, and the Chargers look to beef up some defense here. I believe they go with Nakobe Dean, the inside linebacker from, you guessed it, Georgia. Number 18, right back to Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia looks here at defense. They look at Daxton Hill, the safety from Michigan. Number 19 is New Orleans. Here's another team that can consider a quarterback. I think they think long and hard about it. But in the end, they've got a lot of money invested in the quarterback position, bringing back Jameis Winston this year, along with their backup, who's also got a big contract. So I think that they're going to go defense here after pondering it for a while and go with Trent McDuffie, the corner from Washington. Number 20 is Pittsburgh, and it's been well publicized that they spent a lot of time looking at the quarterbacks. I think, again, they ponder it. They think long and hard about it. But I just don't think they, in the end, think that these guys are worthy of a first-round selection. And I also think they really like Mitch Trubisky. So I think the Steelers go to add a weapon and a different kind of wide receiver than they have on the roster currently. Jahan Dotson, the wide receiver from Penn State. At 21 is New England, and the Patriots look again to build that defense from inside out. They go back to another Georgia player, Devontae Wyatt, the defensive tackle, again from Georgia. At 22 is Green Bay. Green Bay lost Davante Adams, their big wide receiver. I think they look to try to start replacing him with a variety of players, and they go and spend a first-round draft choice on a wide receiver, Treylon Burks from Arkansas. At 23 is Arizona, and Arizona would like to patch that defense a bit. They like Devin Lloyd, the inside linebacker from Utah. At 24 is Dallas, and Dallas has had some issues up front on the offensive line. I think they addressed that with Zion Johnson, the guard from Boston College. At 25 is Buffalo. Buffalo's a little thin at corner. I think they go with Andrew Booth, the corner from Clemson. At 26 is Tennessee, and here it comes. I think Tennessee thinks at this point, too good to pass up, an heir apparent to Ryan Tannehill. I think they like Kenny Pickett, the quarterback from Pitt. He comes off the board at 26 in the first round. At 27 is Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay considers Malik Willis here, but in the end, they side with Tom Brady coming back for another year. Let's get another guy to protect him. Let's go with Kenyon Green, the guard from Texas A&M. Then at 28 is back to Green Bay. Green Bay turns to defense. Quay Walker, inside linebacker, you guessed it, Georgia. At 29, Kansas City with back-to-back picks. Kansas City starts by looking to build an edge rush in the form of Arnold Ebiketie, the edge rusher, the defensive end from Penn State. They come back at 30, and they look to gain a weapon for Patrick Mahomes. Since losing Tyreek Hill in the trade, they like Sky Moore, wide receiver who is rocketing up the charts from Western Michigan. At 31 is Cincinnati. I think they continue the trend of building around Joe Burrow, their quarterback. They draft another offensive lineman, someone right in the center of that line, Tyler Linderbaum, the center from Iowa. And finally, with the 32nd pick of the first round, Detroit has their second pick of the round. They were at the top at number 2. They're at the bottom at 32. And this is where they say, too good to pass up at this point. Could be a superstar in the dome at Ford Field. Malik Willis, quarterback, Liberty, goes to the Lions as the heir apparent to Jared Goff. That's my first round. My next segment will be to review how I do. Check out my picks and watch and enjoy the draft on Thursday. This is Mr. K on Sports signing off.